And we continue to follow this breaking news. The Maryland man deported by the Trump administration, now back in the U.S. to face federal charges. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, charged with transporting illegal immigrants into the country nearly 3 months after the Trump administration deported him to El Salvador. The human trafficking charges stem from a 2022 vehicle stop in which the Tennessee Highway Patrol suspected him of human trafficking.
Now joining us now is Congressman Glenn Ivey, who went to El Salvador to try and meet with Abrego Garcia. Congressman, thank you for joining us. The indictment is accusing Abrego Garcia of participating in a decade-long human smuggling operation. But how do you reconcile these serious charges with the previous court's decision?
Well, we don't really know what's going on with these charges yet. I've read through the indictment. It's relatively short and not very specific on what the scope of what they're alleging really is. But I think, a couple of things. One is I'm glad he's going to have a chance to talk to his lawyers finally, because the whole time he's been in El Salvador, he's been incommunicado. And hopefully they'll be able to give him a chance to have conversations about what happened with this case so they can prepare to put on a defense, because he is facing federal charges now, and he deserves full constitutional rights to right to counsel and jury trial and all of that. So hopefully that'll be in place. I noted during the press conference that the Attorney General was kind of vague on when they started investigating this. I mean, you do kind of wonder about the timing of this. They were running into a corner with respect to the courts. They were coming up against criminal contempt charges. It looked like that's where they were going to go. And, this is a convenient way to derail that, I think, and try and move this thing in a different direction and change the topic from the failure to comply with the Supreme Court order. But one way or the other, he's back in the United States now. He'll have a chance to talk to his attorneys, and this court process will get moving forward.
Yeah, and I wanted to get your take, Congressman, on the legal viewpoint of this and the part of this, because we talked about how he was illegally deported to El Salvador. Then, of course, the Supreme Court, you alluded to that. They ruled unanimously that he must be brought back here to the U.S. So how does this recent criminal indictment, how does it affect his legal status and his rights now that he is back here on U.S. soil?
Well, it's a great question. I mean, normally in a criminal case, he'd be brought before a judge. It's called an initial appearance, and the judge would make a determination about bail. And in the federal courts, that'd be, is he a danger to the community and is there a risk of flight? I don't know that either one of those would be found more likely than not here, because, he'd been out in the public for years and certainly hadn't tried to flee. And, I don't know that the danger to the public piece would be held up either. But they may also try and maintain the ICE deportation order as well. So we'll just have to see how they try and do that. But, I think it's going to be interesting to see how the court is going to move forward with the criminal case and what's going to happen on the parallel track with the deportation proceedings. I assume that'll either get stayed or dropped one way or the other, but I don't know that for sure.
All right, Congressman, we want to thank you for joining us. We'll continue to follow this story. Thank you.
Yes.